My mother, Mary Evelyn Talbert, died recently and perhaps needlessly. She was a patient of this senior care center called PACE, and PACE, for whatever reason, dangerously underestimated the severity of my mother's health problems. Weeks before her death, my mother begged to see a real doctor, but the healthcare professionals at PACE kept saying my mother's health could improve if she exercised more and elevated her feet, or some such crap. This tragedy keeps reminding me of how destructive for-profit medicine is. With for-profit medicine, the profit matters more than the medicine. Duh! I've now entered a new stage in my life. The stage where both my parents are dead. To add insult to that injury, PACE personnel phoned me a day or two after I phoned them about my mother's death. They claimed to be concerned and asked me, "What can we do to help you?" What the F? I told them they couldn't help me because my mother is dead. It seems that they only phoned me to try to persuade me that they had nothing to do with my mother's death. I have not been persuaded. I'm also enraged at the insufficient progress made in current medical technology and all other forms of technology. Ever since the end of the Apollo program, technological progress seems to have slowed down dramatically. Some might say that's a coincidence, but I believe the end of the Apollo program has led to a real decline in technological development. During the Apollo era, most people seem to believe that anything was possible. But in today's stupidity-oriented era, most people seem to think that everything is impossible. 5 decades ago, many considered it a foregone conclusion that humans would land on Mars. Today, many people say that sending humans to Mars will never happen, despite the space tech progress being made by SpaceX. I'm also very inclined to file a lawsuit against PACE. But what would be better than a lawsuit against PACE would be bad publicity for PACE. I could phone one or more of the local news stations and tell them how PACE's medical staff needlessly let my mother die. Mainstream news people love to cover events of corruption and other if it bleeds, it leads news. I could also contact various websites, especially those that have expressed a high contempt for for-profit medicine. They would love to report on more examples of how for-profit medicine is killing people. And before you say it, I'm fully aware of how important forgiveness is. I'm not ruling that out, but for the time being, I want retribution. I'm also fully aware that death is currently inevitable. But couldn't my mother at least live long enough to see her 80th birthday, which is in December of this year? And as always, the crap and the crud of today's pseudo-society often reminds me of how much better things could be in a resource-based economy. In an RBE, healthcare would be free for all. In an RBE, medical technology would be significantly more advanced. And in an RBE, my mother would probably still be alive. Peace, the science, out.